Hello, and thanks for joining us today. I'm super excited you could be here. Today, I'm displaced, as you can see. I'm not in my normal office, but I wanted to make time to be able to meet with Ron today. I think you're going to love this guy because we're going to dive into two very important topics. First of all, he is a master at investing in commercial real estate. So we're going to talk about that because he's doing some really cool things with shopping centers you probably didn't even know were possible. But most importantly, we want to really drive into his passion, which is sales, which is the skill sets that you really need on the sales side to be able to progress as an entrepreneur, right? You're an entrepreneur. You're building a successful business. You've got to know how to sell. You should be teaching your kids the same thing. So we're going to be diving into both of these topics today. So with us today is Ron Koenigsberg. Now, Ron is the founder and owner of American Investment Properties, Inc., a New York-based commercial real estate brokerage firm and recipient of the 2017 Long Island Business News Commercial Broker of the Year. Ron holds a bachelor's degree in accounting from American University and a master's degree in real estate as well, real estate development from New York University. He is honored to be recognized in 2015 as a CCIM, which is a certified commercial investment member by the CCIM Institute, an elite designation held by only 6% of commercial real estate practitioners. Ron's expertise spans the financial intricacies and creative nuances of the real estate industry. It's from managing multi-million dollar budget to heading real estate acquisition departments. Ron's career is a testament of his unwavering commitment to excellence. Ron, thanks for joining us today.
Ty, it is a pleasure to be here. I've listened to your podcast. I love your show. It is an honor to be here, and I just love your energy. It's infectious.
I appreciate that, and same to you. And let me dive in right from the beginning. I know we're going to talk a lot about sales today, but tell everybody here what exactly it is that you do, because I think you have a really interesting niche in commercial real estate. We've never had somebody on with that kind of experience before.
I'm an investment sales broker. I sell shopping centers, office buildings, triple net properties, industrial properties, but these are investment properties. I own American Investment Properties since 2001, and my clients, and I've sold many, many hundreds of shopping centers, office buildings, and I am the 2017, I came in, number one of all the commercial brokers in my marketplace that year. The bottom line is I sell investment properties. I've been involved in real estate my entire life. I do own a brokerage firm. I've got half a dozen brokers working for me, and we sell a lot of investment properties. We're busy.
Now, do you guys do all of your work up there in the New York area?
I try to. Really and truly, occasionally, we'll see deals, but my attitude is real estate is very localized. So I'm from New York. The accent will not, you're going to stick with that New York accent. And we really understand our marketplace. We have territories here where we even micro, not only is it Nassau, Suffolk County and part of Queens, and that's it. That's it. I mean, there's 49 and a half or 3/4 other states, and Long Island's the 14th largest economy in America on its own. And we do cover a piece of Queens, New York, which is one of the 5 boroughs of New York City.
Huh. What about real estate investing? There's so many types of investing that's out there. There's so many asset classes per se. So, what do you think is the most powerful about the commercial real estate side? What is it that you absolutely love on the commercial real estate side?
All right. Let's just say that I've been doing this 30 years, and hundreds and hundreds. I haven't reached 1,000 yet. We're trying to calculate it up. I have sold so many properties to so many investors at so many different points of their career in their investment stage. No one except for one investor, one has lost money. Everybody makes money. Even the investors that don't even bring that much value. There's one investor on Long Island, well into his 90s. The only value that he brings in is he buys shopping centers. He only buys retail, and he puts up his own signs. He puts up his own, company phone number, and he gets everything leased. As soon as he gets everything leased, um, he sells them. So he buys properties, and within, 12 to 24 months, sometimes 36 months, leases them up at higher rates, raises rents, basically doubles his money on shopping centers just by paying attention, putting in signs, huge signs, for rent. Can't miss them.
So, what about COVID? A lot of people that aren't in your industry think that commercial real estate slowed down a lot or will slow down because of COVID, right? A lot of people look at this and say, now a lot of people working from homes, commercial real estate's in trouble. There's this perception that's out there. Just speak to that if you don't mind, because I think a lot of people are thinking that it's like the
It's not
elephant in the room.
just since Ty, I opened my first Amazon account. I lived in Manhattan. I opened up my first Amazon account in like 2005. Went to the store. At that moment, I was buying a product that I was buying Ivory soap. The time I used it, I switched soaps. But the time I was buying Ivory soap, I went to the corner, bought some soap, and I saw it on Amazon, and it was a lot cheaper. I could buy 20 bars for the price of one in Manhattan. So at that moment, I was driving to work the next day and saying to myself, if I can buy this online so inexpensively and delivered so easy, do we have a problem in commercial real estate, particularly in retail? So fast forward, I mean, literally 19, 20 years later, the answer to the question is absolutely, positively no. Just no. Absolutely. Everyone since 2005 has been saying to me, retail is dead. But we don't have a vacancy rates are still at 4% here on Long Island. Rents are still rising. Yeah, we shifted a lot from selling products to services, but the vacancy rates haven't changed. The rents are still rising. Occupancy rates are great. The bottom line is this: we are human, and whether it's experiential retail, the vacancy rates haven't dropped in those 20 years. But I was on the front cover of Long Island Business News, and it was called Apocalypse Now. Commercial real estate, retail is done. It's not. It's not. I still need my hair cut. I still need restaurants and those new services I haven't even thought of yet that are popping out of the woodwork. Can't wait.
Now, I know you mentioned shopping centers earlier. Do you have particular asset classes within commercial real estate, like niches that you serve more than others?
Sure. There are basically 4 asset classes, but my firm, we concentrate so much on the Long Island marketplace that we handle all 4: multifamily, industrial, retail. Part of that retail is those triple nets that you hear about. A triple net is basically where the tenant pays all the expenses. They just pay you a rent, and it's net of all expenses. And of course, there's office. And office is the next one that everybody is pointing at. That's a pandemic issue, and everyone's looking at that saying, work from home. We're all waiting to see how that plays out.
Hmm. Now, you recently wrote a book. So tell me a little bit about the book you wrote.
It's called Power Broker. It's called Power Broker. How to succeed in business and life. And I sincerely believe that while I am a commercial real estate broker, I have my master's and all that stuff. Fundamentally, at the core, I'm a salesman. My dad was a salesman, financial services salesman, sold products, mutual funds, all sorts of bonds, all sorts of investments. And he would say that he's a financial planner. And if you pushed him, he would say, sure. I'm a salesman at the core. But the bottom line is this. When I look at 2024 and I see the statistics, 85% of current entrepreneurs and business leaders started their careers in sales. So what came first? The success or the skill set? I'm going to keep taking you back to the 9 skills that I believe will make you successful year in and year out. Best example, 2005. T. Harv Eker writes a book called The Millionaire Mind. He says there's 8 skills that he outlines that if you're strong in these skills, that you are most likely to become a millionaire. These are the millionaire traits: public speaking, communication, negotiation, relationship building, problem solving, resilience, listening, teamwork, and adaptability. Now, we happen to overlap 8 of the 9. I'm saying that there are 9 sales skills that are essential. I've just listed them. I'd like to talk about them, maybe individually, but if someone said to me, what does it take to be successful in any industry? I would say sales skills. 1 out of 9 of us is in sales. The other 8 just doesn't admit it. Is your doctor in sales? All day long. Your accountant in sales? All day long. He's convincing his kids that they should go to school on time too. But we're all in sales all day long. I'm sure you'd
So
agree.
Rum, oh, absolutely. I think it's an essential skill. It's interesting about how some are so natural to listen, some aren't. My daughter, ever since she was a little kid, if you give her a choice between A and B, she'll always
Yeah.
find a way to get both, right? It's just interesting. It's the way her mind works. It's, hey, Chanel, would you like this or this? And she'll say, well, if I did this, can I have both? And it's just really interesting. Ever since she's a little kid, like she just is born to negotiate. Whereas it's not as natural for my son, right? It requires a lot more skill development. So to your point, it's essential. Some people like me, I don't know about you, naturally, I'm just have that knack. Others don't. So it's important that we especially get that
Right.
training into
Right.
the
I
hands of
think
those that
I
don't.
think you and I come by many of the skills organically. However, I wrote this book because there was a skill that I really didn't come by organically. And it's my first chapter. I think it's the most important chapter in my book. Here's what happened, Ty. My brother, 4 years older than me, an attorney, says to me, "You're not listening." And I said to him, hey, the ears are attached. You don't have to try to listen. It just happens organically. And he said, no, no, no. The most active thing you can do is listen. And I was like, wait a minute, what? Wait, active listening. He said to me, all people want to be heard and understood. He said, actively listening is putting away your distractions. It's trying to mirror them. When they say something, say it back to them. And not to interrupt and ask questions. So, the bottom line is that I wrote this book and I started to focus on sales skills because I didn't have one. I wasn't actively listening. You want to sell something? Rule number 1, actively listen. Pay attention. Maybe your daughter's paying attention. Maybe your daughter is saying, hey, sounds great, but let me ask you a question. Why can't I have both?
So when you're doing active listening, we hear about this sometimes, but give me an example of how I can show that I'm active listening in a
You
conversation.
want me to give you an example on how to show that you're actively listening in a conversation?
I think you just did
I just did it.
it.
Right. That's how you do it. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You honestly put away your distractions. You did what I just did. It's called mirroring. I didn't interrupt you, and then I just asked questions. And that's what your daughter's doing out there. I love the fact that, she's saying, wait a minute, choice A or B. Right. What do we got to do to make this interesting and acquire both.
So matching or mirroring, heard of matching
Mirroring,
too. I've
matching, sure.
heard of mirroring, I've heard of matching too. And then I've heard these two kind of be synonymous, that the first thing that you do is kind of, well, give me an idea. You've heard of matching and mirroring. Are they the same thing? Are they different? How are they the same or different?
Really similar. I've heard other terms as well. Exclusive listening. I mean, if I told my brother that there's a term out there called exclusive listening, he would say to me, of course, when someone's talking to you, try to listen to them exclusively. All right. So I think we all agree and understand that listening is an active skill. And we're just talking about one of the 9 skills, but it's so critical. Listen, I heard it recently. After 37,000 interviews, Oprah Winfrey was interviewed in 2020, in February 2020. And she said, and the question was asked of her, what did you learn after 37,000 interviews with the most famous people on the planet? And she said, everyone you meet just wants to be seen and heard. That's it. Take it from Oprah. Everyone just wants to be seen and heard. So let's let them be seen and heard. That's a relationship. That's how you build a relationship with my sons, your daughter, anyone significant other. Go home tonight. Go home to your wife and repeat back what she says, and she feels heard. She says to you, I had a tough day. It sounds like you had a tough day.
So when you're doing mirroring, give me an idea. Is mirroring more body language? Is it more verbal? Like,
Verbal.
is it tonality? Is it words? Give me an idea.
Okay. All right. We're going to take you through the science now of communication. When I started to write this book, I had to better understand how communication happens. Okay. So there's a lot of science behind it, but cutting right to the chase, it's 55%, 38%, 7%. Okay. What are these numbers? 55% is body language and facial expressions of communication. I can communicate to you just by my facial expressions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not going well. 38% through tonality. I mean, in your tone, and 7% is the message. So there is your, 55 body language, 38% tonality, and 7% the actual message. So we can really communicate. So, how does that work for you? If it's important, show up. I've never met a man who asked a woman to marry him via text. Yet I haven't met him yet. I'm sure there's probably some guy out there, but if it's important, show up. If not, you can't be there. Do a Zoom. Do a Zoom. We're getting close. We're seeing each other. The tonality's there. Make a phone call. If it's not important, text.
I just think that those numbers are so astonishing, right? Think about that. 7% of communication is actually the words. Like, that's
That's right.
crazy. And that's
Well,
why I love having you
because
on.
we could spring it any way you want. I mean, you could spring it any way you want and say, this is the most important podcast in the country. Or we could say, in some, light way, what is this, the most important podcast? Right. That changes everything, the tonality. We're getting to communication. We're starting to understand it. I can't figure out why we don't spend more time teaching this in school.
It really is interesting that there's so many things, especially where I am in the business credit financing space, that are not taught in school. And it's really, really, really astonishing.
Well, I
So
love your podcast. I've been listening. I've been listening a lot, and I want to work on my credit score, and I want to better understand it. And it's intriguing, but it's so amazing. It's so amazing why a class is not being taught in a university setting. Credit's so important, Ty.
I agree. It's astonishing that if you think about all the things. I mean, we talked before we started about trigonometry. My kids are in their school. They're learning trig right now, right? And so it's like interesting that they could dive that deep in, but yet don't have anything on budgeting. Like, I don't know about you, but like I'm gonna need budgeting my entire life. But trig, I don't think trig will be something I'll use very often. I'm in financial services, so and you too are on the financial side. So you talked about there being 8 in this book, 9 that you actually talk about with skills. I'm curious, what's the one skill you picked up that you didn't see addressed in the book?
Resilience.
Resilience. So dive in more. Why do you feel that that is such an important skill, but yet that was kind of ignored or forgotten about before you actually presented it?
Interest rates are high this year. I'm on LinkedIn a lot. I think one of the things I see a lot in my industry is survive until 25. What that's saying is that when interest rates drop, commercial real estate, residential real estate, maybe cars, all industries are going to be affected. And your job is to survive until 2025. But, this morning, I typically make I reach out to people, in the morning. I like to do my heavy lifting, and my heavy lifting is my touching calls to speak to people. What's next? We buying properties, we selling properties. Where's the strategy? So I'm reaching out. I'm making sales calls. Um, I'm in touch with people. So is resilience the most important part of sales? I gotta tell you, it's the most important part of business. You're gonna get knocked down. Tell me about your business. Have you had highs and lows?
Without a doubt, I think it's interesting you say this because I say that if ever 800 plus episodes, I will say that if an entrepreneur asks me what does it take to succeed, and I said, what you say is exactly what I say. I said there's only one thing, and it is that it's resilience. It's just the drive to move forward. Because if you have that and only that, you will acquire everything else that's needed, right? Like if I want to survive in commercial real estate, man, I'm a scrapper, right? I'm
Oh, that first
resilient. So
year, I'm gonna just tell you one thing. That first year is about one thing: resilience. If you can get
yeah,
through that first year, I've heard it said that 80% of what you need to learn as a commercial real estate broker, you learn in your first year. But you need resilience. Listen, if I could teach a class tomorrow and have my kids come in, I would like to teach them public speaking, because you teach by doing, you give presentations, and quite honestly, if you can speak, that's a leadership skill. I can take you through all of these skills, positive thinking, enthusiasm, goal setting. We're going to all agree these are important
let's dive
skills.
into them actually. So we talked about mirroring, we've talked about resilience. What's another one that we should cover?
Just talk about being a positive attitude, just a positive attitude. Okay. Studies have shown that when you have a smile on your face, and you're not angry, you're actually 29% smarter. Let's talk about that. If you have an open mind, you're 29% smarter. How you think about a problem is more important than the problem itself. I say it all the time. People walk into my office and they say, "We got a problem." And first thing I think about is, we so got this. We so got this. No problem. Bank's not lending on the deal. Don't worry about it. We need a new bank. I understand. What are we going to do? Place the lender. Now I could say deal's dead. Deal's oh my, it's all go home. Let's back it up. It's partly resilience. It's partly positive thinking. A lot of these skills are interwound. Positive thinking, how you look at a problem, is more important than the problem itself.
That's so powerful as well because teach my kids again this 10% of life is what happens, 90% is how you react. and you and I both know that keeping focused on the positive side of things and driving forward is essential, not just to sales, as you said, to running a business. What next outside of positive attitude?
Sure. Okay. Let's talk about public speaking for a minute, okay? I think it's really, really important. If I could take my kids and constantly, put them in front of a live audience, it's shocking. It's scary. But if someone said to me, what skill set is the highest paid commodity on this planet, I would say enthusiasm. It's a Greek word. It means literally from the gods, enthusiasm. Think of how important real passion is. Excitement, passion, enthusiasm can replace fear. Enthusiasm can give you courage.
I love
You like
that.
that one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm can give you courage. Can give you courage. I don't know, the Karate Kid. He's 3 times my size. We could do it. We could do it. We could do it. We could do it. And obviously, that's how you overcome problems, and that's how you overcome obstacles. We're all dealing with obstacles, and resilience, it's important. I set my goals. We'll talk about goals in a minute, but I'm not the only one here in this New York, Long Island commercial real estate market that wants to reach their sales goals of, selling shopping centers, office buildings, and multifamily properties.
What besides that, what do you think what's the next one that we haven't covered?
Not goal setting. You want to talk about, let's talk about arguments. Let's talk
Oh,
about
I love
arguments.
that. I love arguments. Let's go to arguments. That sounds
Let's talk
good.
about arguments. Arguments are inevitable, right? And I wanted to cover it in my book because everybody's arguing all the time. The internet didn't help lessen arguments. I think the internet, everyone is just, screaming at each other. I'm not getting into any arguments here. My feeling is that the best argument is that which seems merely like an explanation. The time that you need to remove anger is exactly when you're in an argument. I believe that the problem-solving skills, if I could go back, Ty, and take one class or be involved in one group in high school, I would have been on the debating team. That's the skill set that I want to unemotionally understand my opponent's point of view, and I want to unemotionally remove my anger, and I want to explain things very coolly and very calmly. Arguments are inevitable, but bring your conviction and don't bring your anger, and bring your active listening skills.
Ron, good stuff today. I think we still left some of the 9 that we haven't discussed, which is why people need to get your book,
They need
right?
the
Because
book. It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon. You got to reach out there. It's called Power Broker, How to Be Successful in Business and Life. Active listening is chapter number 1. It's a skill set. It's the most active thing you could possibly do. Understanding that 85% of the current entrepreneurs and successful people in the country started in sales. Understanding that texting, emails, they're all moving us away from the true science of interpersonal skills, that 55-38-7. Understanding, how to be the best entrepreneur you could possibly be. Those are the skills that, I want to teach my children. And those are the skills I hope that people go out there and learn and actively sell product.
I love it, Ron. Power Broker, How to Be Successful in Business and Life. And it's on Amazon right now. I'm also going to put a link to the show resources page. And everybody here that wants to get in touch with you directly to talk to you more about the book, or even talk to you more about commercial real estate, what you can do to help them, where should they go to learn more?
Absolutely. The first thing we did is set up a landing page. It's my name. I see it right there around Koenigsberg.com. And also American Investment Properties, AIPROPS.com. And I just recently did a Kajabi. It's very interesting that a lot of learning is being taught online. I learn a lot on YouTube. I love it. If I don't know how to do something, and I don't know how to do a lot of things, I, YouTube it, watch how to do it, and simply fix, whatever needs to be fixed. They have Kajabi, and I recently uploaded, I say, about a 10-minute segment on each of the 9 skills. We're giving that away free on my landing page. It's a direct link to Kajabi. My feeling is, I've had some success in this industry. All I want to do is help and be involved in teaching these 9 skills.
Ron, where's that? Say the landing page one more time.
That's just my name, ronkoenigsberg.com.
Okay.
RON.
Go ahead and spell it. Everybody's going to want you to spell it.
Oh, I think it's interesting because it's a podcast. Of course, it's a brutal name. RON, Ron Koenigsberg, KOENIGSBERG.com, and yeah, there is a 10-minute class on each of the 9 skills. I think there's a 10th class to bring it all together. They wanted me to charge a certain number per class because it really has value. And I said, absolutely not. I want to give this away for free. So it's all available.
Ron, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Just the opposite, Ty. Your enthusiasm is infectious, and I can't wait to listen to more of your episodes and learn more about debt.
Well, I can't wait for this one to go live. Everybody, this has been so powerful. Keep in mind that we only had 30 minutes today, and Ron we could have spent hours just talking about the commercial real estate side, or hours just talking about his book. But what I'd like for you to do is 2 things. First of all, go directly to Ron's website. So it's his last name, it's first name, last name. So it's Ron, KOENIGSBERG.com. If you didn't get that, that's okay. It's on the show resources page.
There you go.
And make sure you also go to Amazon, and make sure on Amazon that you look at his book, which is Power Broker: How to Be Successful in Business and in Life. Keep in mind, if you run a business, you are selling. It does not matter. Everything you're doing is selling. And this is interesting where Ron talks about the beginning, year of starting his business and selling. This is all of this. If we look statistically, the businesses that fail, which is the greater portion in the first matter of 1 to 5 years of business, they're failing because ultimately the business owner really isn't very good at sales. If you killed it at sales, you could pretty much suck at almost everything else and probably still succeed. I'll tell you that because I've seen a bunch of really people that are not good at anything but sales, and they still kill it in this world, right? So as an entrepreneur, this is a basic skill set. It really determines not just success or failure, but it determines how much you thrive versus just survive. And Ron has gone through and broken down every single thing you need to know to succeed in his book. So pick it up, Power Broker: How to Be Successful in Business and Life. Also, check out his website directly to get those 10-minute classes on each one of these skills, and arm yourself with the skill sets that you need to actually
listen.
survive.
The bottom line is, Ty, at this point in 2019, 20% of Americans filed a 1099 non-employee tax form. In 2017, not according to me, the United States Department of Labor says 50% of Americans will file 1099 non-employees. If you don't think we're in sales, if you own your own company and you're filing a 1099, I'm here to tell you, you're in sales. Let's work on these skills. Let's get better at them. I need it. I need a reminder. It's like going to the gym. Got to get better at them.
I love it. Make sure you pick it up. Power Broker: How to Be Successful in Business and Life, and check out Ron's website as well for those 10-minute trainings. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Appreciate
Take care.
you. Thanks,
Ron. I appreciate you coming in too. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.